Hello, and welcome to the TC Allen live show. I'm your host, TC Allen, and listen, today we have my dear friend and brother all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, Mel Clemmons, and he is a powerhouse. You want to be tuned in for the remainder of the show because this gentleman has done exploits when it comes to business. We're going to talk about business and mergers and acquisitions. He buys and sells businesses. I'll let him tell the story, but he has done far above 100 million in sales. And so not only that, but he's owns multiple businesses. And outside of that, he's a father, he's a husband, and phenomenal friend. And I want to pick his brain and talk about business today. And then we'll take off his business hat and put on his NBA hat. I'll let him tell you a story about his NBA dreams. And so listen, today my special guest, Mel Clemmons, is with us today. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you suffering from fear and anxiety? The Allen Counseling Clinic is here to help. Our goal is to help you grow from your struggles, heal from your pain, overcome your fears, and get the relief from your anxiety. Call now, area code 424-295-6227. Telehealth is now available.
Hey family, it's yours truly, Dr. Eddie. Listen, it's official like a referee with a whistle. My new book, Relationship Rules, is everywhere, y'all. And I'm empowering you to build healthy relationships, but also purposeful partnerships. You can do that. I want to show you how to do that simply by going to Amazon. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to dreddieacademy.com/book to get a signed copy. I'm empowering you to win in the areas of love, leadership, and leveraging your purpose. It's all about the book, Relationship Rules, because relationship rules.
Without a test, there is no testimony. That means you have to go through something. Me, every opportunity that I ever succeeded from is because I failed. You want to go to the next level. You want all the accolades that come with hard work, but it takes the hard work to get there. You have to be willing to dig deep, reach down, and turn that switch when nobody else will. They say the faster you fail, the quicker you can succeed. I made mistakes. But through those mistakes, trial and error, and the test, you get the knowledge. You practicing every morning. You getting up early in the morning. You staying late. You eating right. You focusing on your goal. Me, every opportunity that I ever succeeded from is because I failed. You cannot take a day off. You cannot take a vacation. It's not the half person that gets there. You got to be all in every day, 24 hours a day. Now you say you want it, but can you look me in the eye, man to man, woman to woman, and say, hey, you want to worse than me? That's what I teach. I teach those impossibilities. I teach you to never give up. I teach you how to take those bad incidents, turn them around, recreate them, and learn. Successful people already think like this. Failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Do you believe it? Do you have that in you? That you can turn that switch and motivate yourself and dig deep and rise?
Somebody say rise.
Preach, Pastor. You got
That
me
was you
motivated.
preaching
I'm
it.
like, who is that man? Who is that
That
talking that and speaking in the lives?
that was you preaching this time, and
Oh
phenomenal.
man.
So welcome to the show once again. You know I do the show every year, and this is my season. Talk about business, and I want to have you on because I know you an astute businessman, and you've done exploit when it comes to business, and you had your share of success. And I want you to not only encourage the people, but tell them your journey and your background, and how can they too do the same thing that you do too as well, because I know you teach people how to do the same thing, and we'll talk about your book a little later. But you turn the nobodies into millionaires, and so tell us about your background and where you come from.
Well, I'm born in Asheville, North Carolina, but I'm from a small town called Harriman, Tennessee.
Hmm.
And I grew up with my mother and father to the age of 10. And then I went through what a lot of people experience in life is divorce. So at that time, when my mom and dad were together, we had a good, comfortable life. My mom was an educator, a school teacher. My father was, he was self-made businessman. Plus, he had a job at the local plant in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Together, they had a good living. But once they separated, my lifestyle changed. So I went from living with two parents and eating good, being able to go to the grocery store when we wanted, to, kind of struggling a little bit. We still were able to make ends meet, but if you come from a single parent household with a mother who's a school teacher trying to raise two boys, it was a struggle. But I got through it. My father was still involved in our lives. He moved away to a different city, but he still was active. So I still got the best of both worlds. My mom was educated, college educated, taught college, taught high school. My father was a self-made entrepreneur doing handshake deals, learning to see him get into the real estate business, own clothing stores, seeing my mama open up at a bookstore. So I came from a family of people who wanted more. They were not always able to manage money the same way that I think that we should have been able to, but
Hmm.
they did a good job. They got me through college. I got a scholarship to the University of Tennessee. I majored in mathematics, and I began being a school teacher at an early age.
Wow. So you not only didn't come from money, but you taught school too as well. Talk about that. I forgot you taught school. What did you teach?
Man, I was a math teacher. People don't believe it to this day. Most people, it depends on what hat I have on or which week. Some people see me as a businessman or
Yeah,
the basketball coach, but nobody says Mel was a former elementary and middle school teacher. That was my background. I took after my mother, who raised me and taught me a whole lot about being a man.
that's good. That's good. That's what's up. Did you ever want to go back to teaching?
Yeah, I do plan on. It's actually one of my visions. That's one of the things I do and teach.
Hmm.
Anytime I have a vision, I put it down in writing, either in my phone or record it in my notes section. That's one of my visions, and I had it probably 7 years ago that when I retire from business, I'll go back into the education field. But I never stop teaching. Like I teach people in the business world, I teach
Yeah,
people in the insurance world,
yeah.
I teach people in relationships. So I never stop teaching, but I just put on a different hat and taught in a different way.
That's good. Now, you mentioned insurance. Now,
Mm.
I know you just didn't get into mergers and acquisitions, but you started somewhere. How did you start in the business sector? How did you start there?
Actually, it was a young man named Skip Eggleston I saw when I was in college, probably my sophomore junior year.
Hmm.
He was doing a seminar or doing a workshop at UT, and he told me that if I got my license and hustled up and got in school, that he would teach me the business. And he gave that opportunity to several other gentlemen, but I was the one who kind of outperformed everybody else. So he actually paid for me to get my license. And
Wow.
when I was in college, I worked my way through college selling insurance. So that was my first introduction to the life of an insurance agent.
So in college, you began selling insurance, and so it taught you sales because I know you knocked on a lot of doors and you got a lot of no's, but it toughened
Mm.
you up and you began to learn about business because I think the best way to learn about business is to get into sales because it toughens you up. You get a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
those no's, and so you start understanding that all I need is that one yes.
yeah. I learned thick skin through being in sales in college. I had to support my sons when I was in college, so I had to make money. I had to support myself. So I was able to get in the insurance business at an early age. So I think I was 19 or 20, 21 when I first got into insurance and learned the sales trade. But I didn't stay in it. Like I said, I got back into education when I graduated. But eventually I made my way back when I moved to Atlanta. I think at the age of like 24, 23, 24, I got back into the insurance field and I knew how lucrative it could be. So I opened up my first agency from scratch and I built that up. And I opened another one from scratch.
I'm sorry. You went from selling insurance when you graduated from college back to teaching, and then you said, listen, this teaching thing ain't paying enough, so I got to go get back in insurance, and you open up your own insurance agency?
Yeah, I was always, man, my dad, that was one thing he always taught me, man, you can always accomplish the impossible. So everything that I ever dreamed about, I was talking to a young lady the other day in the insurance field and business world, and she was saying, should she open up a bookstore? I said, everything that I dream about, I'm going to accomplish. Everything that I ever imagine I want to do, I'm going to do. If it's buying a plane, if it's jumping off a cliff, if it's going to meet President Obama, everything I dream about, I'm going to do. So I told her, do it, accomplish your dreams. So that's what I did. So, yep, I taught school and I got back into, I went to corporate America. I worked for AT&T, the communications field, in a company called New South /Windstream for a couple of years. And then I opened up an agency from scratch. I took money from a credit card. I think at this time was in 2002 or 3. You had to have like 25,000.
Wow.
I did not have $25,000 cash at the age of 25.
Right.
I don't know how many people can save that type of money, but I did have access to a credit card. So I was in sales. So I was making good money, man. I was making 6 figures when I was 23, 24 years old. But even if you make $100,000 a year, that does not enable you to save 25,000 cash or 30,000.
Exactly.
So I took the money from my biggest commission sale when I think that was like 17,000. Then I borrowed 15,000 from my credit card. And I tell the story sometimes. People don't understand how obstacles sometimes get in your way, and God is testing you to say, how bad do you really want to be successful?
How bad do you really want it? Are you willing to risk it all to go forward, or are you going to play it safe?
Yeah, most people think success just happens, that it's easy, that everybody can do it. Or not, he had a rich father, he had a rich mother, TC had an inheritance somewhere. No. A week before I was supposed to leave for training, I was about to get on a plane to go to training. They said, Mel, you showed us, I think, whatever, $15,000. They told me 2 days before I was supposed to leave, you need to show us 30,000. I had no plan.
Wait. You had one figure in your mind before you was going to training. They switched the game on you and said, you need some more money?
Yeah, they said you need another 15,000. You know what's so fun? I'll tell you how God works in the favor of certain people or everybody if you receive the calling.
That's right.
The guy who was supposed to send me to training actually said, Mel, I'm going to write you the check for the 15,000 you need. Wow. And you just write me a check back. He believed in me. So I didn't even know this guy. It's a white guy that I didn't even know.
Wait.
He said he was going to write me a check.
He said write him a check back that he know right then and there that he couldn't cash.
Right. But he was willing to spot me and said, I believe in you, who didn't know, and he knew it was a tough call. But I didn't even accept the money because I didn't know him. And, sometimes you say, what strings are attached? No, I'll find a way on my own. And that's when I got all my credit cards together, called all them, got the cash advance. They wired me the money. The 90-day, sometimes the credit cards say 90 days. If you pay them back, 0% interest. I believed in myself. And I had just got married like 6 months ago. So I had to tell my wife this is what I was about to do.
Wow.
But she believed in me also.
Newly married, and
newly married.
You took money off of credit cards. How did she give you any static, Doc? Or was she? Because I know my sister. I know she supports you very well. But did you get some static because you're early in your marriage? And she's like, what's going on? You started a agency with no money. You're borrowing money off your credit cards. What's up with that?
No, man, I think I'll be honest. I know she was a little nervous. She said, what is the plan? I told her the plan. And I think she said, I'll give you my retirement to do it.
Wow. So she believed in you enough to say, not only go ahead and cash out your credit card, but I'll even cash in what I got going on to help you.
Yeah, man. When I look back at all the things that people did for me, man, hey, I get happy just thinking. Because you don't remember. Sometimes until you reflect on it, you don't remember all the things that happened for you to get to where you are.
That's right. That
was almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago.
It's amazing how God will link you up with someone who believes in you enough to put all the chips in to say I'm betting on you because I see something in you. Not only did the Caucasian man said, "Listen, I'll give you the money," and you said, "No, I want to work it out on my own." But your wife came behind him like, "Look, we're gonna go all in on this one because I believe in you." And it's something about when people believe in you, it gives you that extra boost and that extra power.
Yeah.
That's good.
Confidence and faith and belief in other people, encouragement, even in sports, in athletics, and in business. When you have somebody says, "Hey, TC, you can do it."
Yeah.
When they support you, believe, pour in you, that gives you extra motivation. And that's what some parents have to understand with kids. Like, even though my mama gave me the support, my dad gave me support, some people didn't believe. Like when I moved from Atlanta, like when I left teaching, boy, don't you lose that good teaching job?
That good
Get
job.
benefits.
You got that good job.
That good job, the post office job. But man, I want more people, more minorities, more people to just look and pour into the people. Don't be dream killers, man. Motivate anybody, man. If they say, "Man, I'm gonna be the next Mark Zuckerberg," they're gonna establish the next Facebook. Believe in them, man. Pour into them because you never know. Because it's about 1,000 people in my family right now are testimony what Mel has done and what Stephanie has done for himself, and not to mention the other people that I've helped over the years.
I'm almost sure. But when it comes to going back to insurance, I know it wasn't easy. You started on your own insurance company, and I know it wasn't easy to go and navigate through the storms of on your own insurance company. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the how you get started, and then the ups and downs of going through those years of trying to build your own.
Man, it's funny. People always ask me some of the obstacles I face. And sometimes, like I teach people, I'm a horse with the blinders on. So I don't even remember until you ask me to look back. I forget about the people who made up lies and said I was cheating, that I was breaking the rules. Because when I came into the insurance game in Atlanta, people were not succeeding or achieving what I was doing because they wasn't motivated the same way. They didn't have the same hunger. So yeah, I had people to make up lies, that people try to disparage my name. They try to open up investigations.
Wait. They was hating on your drive. They was hating on your hunger. You was hungry and going after it and breaking barriers. And they said Mel must be cheating.
Yeah, Mel must be cheating. Mel must be making it up. He must be doing this illegally. It can't be done this way. And what I had to remind people, number one, I'm a former school teacher. So if you know school teachers, it's not a lot of school teachers who break the law, who break the rules. We are trained to do everything by the book because somebody's always watching us. So yeah. I never had any allegations, anything that I've ever done, sales ethics ever in anything. I've lost many deals because people made up things that were untrue. But in actuality, they're like, wait a minute. And then, the funny thing that used to happen when I was in the business, when I used to walk in the meeting and say I'm Mel Clemmons, like, nah, Mel Clemmons is a white guy. You're not the Mel Clemmons. I see, until I look back.
Mel's a white guy. He can't be black.
No, when I used to take my staff out to lunch with one of my sales managers, it was a Caucasian guy, my right-hand man. They would always hand him the bill because there was no way back then, 20 years ago, what I was doing. And you know what I don't even remember? I don't remember how many times the police used to follow me home from my business because they did not believe everything I was doing was on the up and up. I used to get pulled over so many times. I used to tell my wife, this is strange. And this is Atlanta, the blackest city in the world.
Just put a pin right there. What was you driving back then?
Oh, man. I think I might have had a Lexus, a truck. It wasn't nothing flashy, but
So it wasn't flashy. It was just they knew your name because you was breaking records.
Yeah, I mean, I was opening up businesses in the community. Wow. Yeah, I took that insurance, a barbershop, music store. I bought a house in a community that most people, didn't think, it wasn't normal. So I would, I mean, it was just different.
No, man, you can't just move over that. You said a record store, a what?
A barbershop, opened up a barbershop, all in the same little complex.
So you had the insurance agency, the record store, and the barbershop.
And I was 20, probably 25, 26, and I made commercials on TV. Like people, I just did things that people didn't think you could do. Like when I was 25 or 26, I said I'm going to put a commercial on TV that was all over the state of Georgia, Southeast. I created a commercial like. Who told you could do that? Nobody could tell me. I just did it. I called Comcast and wrote a check. And I made an independent commercial. And so I was doing things that were outside the box because I never had a ceiling owe my success. I never had a ceiling on what I could accomplish.
So everybody else was in a box, and you refused to jump in that box with them.
Man, hey, the Bible I said that I could do all things. I believe it. And I don't understand why people don't believe it. Why you don't step out on faith every day?
Sir.
Anything
Yes,
that I
sir.
ever dreamed about, I want to do. I'm doing the same thing with my kids now that we'll talk about later. I pour into them and tell them, and I'm creating opportunities for other people and
Yeah.
for my family. That's just what I believe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, when it comes to all the business that you started early, from
Mhm.
the record store to the barber shop, how successful were they? Because I know your focus was the insurance company, but how successful was your real estate business, your barber shop, and your record store?
When I got into the barbershop, which is actually still standing on today, it was a deacon from my church.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Mel, I want to get my own shop. And I forget this, like when I was 21, I opened up a music store and a record store when I was a school teacher. So it was something I always wanted. I always liked the fact of being able to be around my community, touch people, hand to hand contact. Barbershop is where you cut up. So I did it when I was in Tennessee. So I actually helped a brother here in Atlanta do it. And we partnered for many years. And then I just said, hey, this is how I am. Like, ain't enough money for me, man. You can have it. And I just gave it to him. And it's still up and running. That's 20 years ago. And he still runs it. He kept all the equipment, kept all the barber chairs, everything. It's still up and running today. So it went well, man. It just wasn't my passion. It was just something I did.
Right.
The real estate company I invested in Florida, that's still up and running today. I invested in the Disney World area when the market crashed, and it's one of my most lucrative businesses that I'm proud of. Me and my wife actually runs that now, Stephanie.
That's good. That's good. What about the record store?
No, he let the record store go. So back that time, he kept the barbershop, and I think he let the record store go, but it's still up in the same little complex. That was 18, 19 years ago.
Wow.
Thinking from my church, but
Now, as a serial entrepreneur, you started, you invested in it, and then you let it go. Do you have a gift and a knack for that? Starting businesses, investing in businesses, and helping them launch, and then putting others over it to make it excel?
I think God has blessed me with a gift to be able to lead and be led by people. So yes, I've started many businesses. My brothers, we opened up multiple insurance agencies together. After that, 2 or 3 of my brothers. So I started them from scratch and partnered with them, and we blew those up and made it big and then sold them. I've done it with some of my other friends and my wife. So yeah, I've had the ability to do that. And now at my stage, like you said, I got into the M&A world, mergers and acquisitions. Because I opened up so many business, people started asking like, hey, how did you do this? And I realized that was a business to be able to teach people how to do mergers and acquisitions.
Now, when it comes to owning your own insurance company, and then how did you get into buying and selling other insurance agencies, books of business? Because that's unique. Because I know a lot of insurance agents, and I know a lot of people who started their own insurance companies, but you're the first person I know who buys and sells insurance companies successfully, and you have done it for many years and been very successful at it. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
how did you go about starting that? Because I know that's because as an entrepreneur myself, investor, and intermediary, where I negotiate deals, deals get kind of difficult. So how did you get into negotiating deals with these large books of businesses?
Yeah, it is unique. I was basically the first in the country, and it's not really a whole lot of people who do what I do, especially on the captive side. I got into it because I was doing it for myself. I would build an agency, sell it, build one up, sell it again, then I started acquiring other agencies and building my portfolio and getting it bigger. And then, like I said, people started calling me for advice, and I would always be helping. I always was teaching. And then one day it hit me, and it was a young guy not an older guy named Steve Collins. He owned an airport company. He was actually my first client. And like back then, like y'all people who don't realize when you start being an intermediary at this level and dealing with millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, there ain't a lot of black people doing that. There ain't a lot of minorities doing it. And they're not letting us in the door easy. So when I first got in, they wouldn't even sign a contract with me. Like I would go in and sell a business, and the guy I was about to sell a business, I would give him a contract for me to represent him. He wouldn't even sign it. So what I had to do back then,
He didn't believe that you can do it.
He didn't believe I could do it.
Wow.
So then I would go out with no contract, with no paperwork on the guy. I would sell a business. So then I would come back to the guy and say, look, your business is already sold. It's already sold. All you have to do is sign for me to represent you. This is the contract for it to be sold for $3 million, and it's done. That was my first deal. They wouldn't even sign a contract with me.
Now, Mel, as a intermediary, as someone who I was negotiating 2 deals just today, and sir, you did it without a contract being signed.
And you know how crazy that is.
And said your business is sold. Do you want this or not?
That's right. And look, even after he did that, he finally signed it. So then it was like Christmas. This was in December, a snowstorm. Then once the business was sold, right, I had to go to closing. Mm-hmm. His money was wired, and I was so nervous. I put the wrong account number down for me, right? So my wire didn't go through it. And anybody who knows how I am with money, I don't play with money. It was a snowstorm. So I called the guy.
Don't tell me you was a math teacher and you forgot your own digits.
I moved them wrong. I've never done it again because now I let other people do it. I was 1 digit off. So it was supposed to be a 3. I put a 2. You know, it's a lot of numbers in my route numbers, account numbers.
Right.
So my money didn't go through. And it was, if you get a wire, it can be 3-4 days before that money gets returned and wired again. So I told the guy, I'm going to come pick up my money because he had it back in his account. I said, don't worry about rewiring it. I will meet you at the bank. Even after he'd already been paid how many ever millions he got, he did not believe. He said, what's going on? Why are you coming down here to get the money? What's the catch? I said, brother, you have already been paid.
So he thought you was trying to do something illegal?
I don't know what he had already been paid and he still didn't trust me. Look, these are stories I have never had the opportunity to tell. Let me tell you another crazy one because I'm in the sharing mood today. I hadn't really spoke to people and done this in years. Like TC can tell you, I don't do this hardly anymore. I don't speak publicly like this, like I used to. I had another client in Forsyth, Georgia. This was like a $10 to $15 million deal. Everybody that I do a deal with, I try to take them out to dinner afterwards, them and their families. This is one of my largest deals. We both made a lot of money. So I said, lady, let's go to this, get a steak dinner. Now this is in Forsyth County, Georgia. So you know about Forsyth County.
Right.
After we closed the deal, he said, don't worry about taking me out to dinner. You just buy me some Omaha steaks and just ship them to me. He wouldn't even sit down with me. See, these are some of the barriers
Wait. Hold on. This is a $15 million deal that you're closing, and they won't even sit down and have a steak with you.
I said, look, let me take you and your wife there. He said, no, just buy me some Omaha steaks. I bought them. And then I asked him, I said, you mind sending me a letter of recommendation? After he's been paid, do you mind sending me a letter of recommendation? You know what he said?
No.
Did you send me those Omaha steaks? I can't make this up, man. But I'm telling you, because of where
you telling me that you've been through the storm, the rain, and you've been through the gutter, even when it comes to not only owning your own insurance company, but getting into buying and selling businesses because they didn't believe that you can do it. Or how can a black man do this and make this much money?
The company threatened me when I started doing this years ago. They don't remember this, but I remember. They came to my office, said I couldn't do it. They were going to call lawyers. I just told them, I said, man, ain't nothing y'all can do to me. Number one, when you got the blood that's covered you have nothing to worry about at any time. Any time.
The blood covered
at any time. No. And not to say that I'm perfect, but when you believe, anybody who's either been to my house, seen my cars, that's my mantra, believe. I believe in myself. I believe in the word. I believe I can do all things. So that's just how I carry myself. So some people say it's arrogant. Some people say I'm whatever, but it's just who I am and who I try to be.
Now, Mel, when it comes to the dealing with that anguish, that ignorance, I would say, I'll go on to say it, the racism, but still you performed and performed well. Now,
yes, sir.
What key can you give someone to overcome something like that? Because they may even quit because someone said something about them or lied on them or just didn't want them to take them out to dinner or didn't believe that they can do it, make it happen. Some people would just quit. What do you say to them?
It's funny. The only color I thought that ever should have mattered was green. I was raised differently, man. I was raised in a real, it's a lot of people from my hometown, probably watching or some of them watching, we were raised in a real redneck area. It was some good people and it was some bad people. But I was able to navigate in all aspects of life, and I never blamed anything on race.
Wow.
That's an excuse, man. I mean, I know there is racism. I know that you can't be discriminated against, but I didn't have no time for that, man. My dad didn't allow me to do that. I didn't have no time to point your fingers. That wasn't gonna make me no money. In business, solutions are the only thing that matter. So if I'm dealing with
pause right there. Say that one more time, because that's a key. I need y'all to write that down. Those of you watching, say that one more time. The solutions, what?
in business, the only thing that matters is solutions. You don't have time for excuses. You can blame somebody. It don't matter. It's a solution. So when I teach my people at work, when you come to me, you come with a solution. Don't come to me with a problem. If I got to figure it out and pay you, I shouldn't be paying you.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to the hardest merger and acquisition that you had, what was that? What was the most difficult?
Let me think. What was the most difficult deal
And
that I did?
And what made it difficult? I know sometimes the two just don't merge together sometimes, and you got to try to make it fit. But what was the hardest for you?
The two things that make deals hard for me, like I'll give you two. I want to tell you two different scenarios. Mm-hmm. One is when you're dealing with dishonest people.
Yes. Especially
when you were dealing with two dishonest people. And then like when you're dealing with a crook on the left and a crook on the right. It's always gonna go wrong. That like when you in business, if your people just do right, just be fair, you're gonna get through it fine. But when one person tries to get up on the other person, it's always gonna be a headache. So when I'm dealing with two dishonest people, so I've dealt with that before with two dishonest people, and I actually had to sue them. Wow. And it was actually a congressman in one of the states.
Wow.
So yeah, that was one of the scariest things I had to do was, I had to deal with some congressmen and legal people and had to deal with that. So dealing with dishonest people who don't do things a certain way makes it hard. And then sometimes dealing with people who just very, very uneducated in business, but they want to do something and they don't listen.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be uneducated, but then listen.
Right. because I educate my clients, but if you don't listen and think you know everything, then I fire you right there because you gonna mess things up. So
Amen.
I understand that. Now, what was the most that you made when it came to acquisition? I know, but what's the largest deal?
I'll tell you what the most company.
Just the largest deal.
I tell you the most the company made, not me. I got kids, grandkids, cousins, aunts, haters, love. No, I can't tell you what's the most I personally made.
You ain't tell the people because we keep things quiet for a reason. I understand that.
Amen. I think in 2000, so it was 20 year of COVID, right? 2020 was a year of COVID. Because I tell the story. 2019 was an overflow year for me. I tell a lot of people who know me this. I think in that year in sales, I think we probably did over 100 million just that year long. So my sales now 200 to 300 million. But in 2019, the year before COVID,
no. You ain't gonna brush over that 2 to 300 million today. No, in 2019 you did over 100. In 2020, in the midst of the pandemic, while everybody was going crazy, you was making millions. Is that what you're saying?
Last year, yeah, I can't lie. Last year, it wasn't a great year, but it was a good year. But the year before COVID was the overflow year.
Man, I'm sorry. We boys. It wasn't a great year.
Yeah, it was tough, but I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed.
You done make 200 million, only made 50 million. Is that what you saying?
The company in sales. You got to chop a lot of that up. So anybody listen, don't. The company got to get their part, taxes, the clients, all that.
We clown it. But no, you in the midst of a pandemic, I know God has blessed you, even though you had hard times. Like last year, we're talking about difficult times that you were having in some of your businesses, and I know you were going through along with your wife, trying to make sure. Not only your family was taken care of, what your employees were taken care of, and things was trying to, going haywire all last year. But you guys made it through it, and I know God has blessed you. And so, what are some of the keys that you pulled out to make it through the pandemic last year?
We had to sell some businesses. I didn't actually have to close them down. We were able to liquidate some of the businesses. The biggest issue was the real estate in Florida. We were not able to have vacation rentals in Florida. So instead of vacation, we had to turn everything to long term because Florida shut down for tourists. You couldn't have tourists in your house for months. So then I had to reallocate some of the resources and readjust some of my business models in that area. I also determined in going forward after 2020 that anybody that I invest in, I will be actively involved on the board or a seat in the company. I will no longer just be invested in companies with a check and not being actively involved, because a lot of companies I gave money to, they didn't do as well as the ones I had my hands on. So I made that determination that going forward, I will be more hands-on in companies, because now I do more investing in different companies than actually running them.
When it comes to investing and buying companies, how did you make the switch to? Because I know a lot of companies are now making a switch to investing in technology for their businesses, because a lot of companies were left behind and found out that they had to step their game up and get on the cutting edge of technology. If not, they was going to be left behind. So how did you make the switch, or were you already on the cutting edge of technology when it comes to your businesses?
No, I'm still getting some information. I have not transformed all my business on the technology side. One of my business partners that I was with, he was more technology savvy than I am. I have some education on it, but not a lot. So I have been relying on other people. And then I'm just kind of getting up to speed, trusting the younger people around me and my staff people to get me up to speed. But I'm not really day to day on any of the business anymore. So I've been semi-retired for a while. So when I come in, it's basically looking in the door like, what the old guy doing in here? What are you gonna do? My consulting firm, I'm still active, but all my other companies, I don't. They self-sufficient.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Well. I know a lot of people are trying to get to where you are, and I want you to give them some tips of negotiation and how to the basics of how to buy and sell a business, because we're talking about mergers and acquisitions today, and give them some basic tools of how to buy and sell a business. Okay. Just not a agency, but if they have a business that they started and they say, I'm at the point where I want to sell this, how do they go about doing that?
The biggest thing when you want to liquidate or sell or retire your business is, number one, you need to get a valuation. You have to get a valuation on what your business is worth. Once you get your business worth kind of taken care of, then you need to understand the marketplace that you're in. You got to understand what is the supply and demand of the type of business that you're in. After you understand the supply and demand of the type of business you're in, where are the potential buyers located? How do buyers find you, or how do you find them? What is the best way then to position yourself to be attractive? And then remove all emotion. So either hire an intermediary, a broker, consultant, or see if you can remove all emotions, because most deals fall apart because emotions get involved. And a dollar bill has no emotions, or corporation doesn't. But most people who sell businesses get emotionally attached to it, and you can't in business.
I like when you said that, because a lot of deals fall flat because they are all emotional and they get hyper and go crazy. And I tell them all the time, do you want the money or the emotion that you're going through? Which one you want? And so that's key, because a lot of deals fall because they get kind of crazy when it comes to money. But I say all the time that money only makes you more of who you are. And see, when they see them dollar signs, the real them just come out. That's just about.
Oh, that's just it. I've experienced that so many times. How people act with money and power. Money and power.
Money and power. Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you hadn't been used to it, you'll see how people change, how they act, how they really feel about you, how you feel about them. So yeah, it takes a lot of faith. I think God wants all of us to be blessed, and you all have the opportunity to reach certain heights, but everybody can't handle it. Like I tell some of my guys who want to open businesses, if you can't balance $1,000, you can't balance $1 million.
That's right.
So before God gonna bless you with $100 million, balance that $10,000, balance that $1,000, and don't think once you get rich you're gonna be better. If you ain't tithing today, you ain't gonna tithe when you hit 20 million.
That's right.
If you ain't helping nobody today, you won't help nobody tomorrow.
That's it. Listen, I gotta take a commercial break right quick. And then we're going to talk about your NBA dreams and your family and some other things in your book, 2 books that you have out. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm Mel Clemmons. A lot of people ask me what made me get into the insurance business. I tell them, number one, the Allstate brand has been around 50 plus years, helping customers throughout the entire country protect their home, their lives, their families, and even their automobiles. The number one way we stand out from other agencies is we're here 24 hours a day between online customer service, 24 hours a day phone support, and my wonderful staff has been trained over 20 plus years to make sure we find you the deepest discounts to keep customers happy. We also have a new discount called the Home, Auto, and Life, because Allstate protects life insurance also. We want to make sure your kids, your grandfather, your grandkids are taken care of. Anytime you need the Mel Clemmons Agency, you can go online or call us. We've been able to help thousands of customers throughout the Southeast, from Georgia to South Carolina to Tennessee. In good times and bad times, the Mel Clemmons Agency is always around.
Are you suffering from fear and anxiety? The Allen Counseling Clinic is here to help. Our goal is to help you grow from your struggles, heal from your pain, overcome your fears, and get the relief from your anxiety. Call now, area code 424-295-6227. Telehealth is now available.
SAMM Consulting is a company that helps people buy and sell insurance agencies. When people want to change careers and get into a new industry, they call me to find an insurance agency to buy. When people want to retire and get out of the insurance agency, they call me to help them liquidate their asset or sell. Some people call me a broker. I'm more of an intermediary. I'm kind of like between a buyer and a seller. I make it fair for both parties. The primary reason somebody would leverage SAMM Consulting is because we create millionaires. We help people retire from the business and retire wealthy, or we help people get into the business and grow to be wealthy.
The reason I use SAMM Consulting is the reputation, professionalism, the expertise, and the amazing job of doing the due diligence is what convinced me to work with SAMM Consulting.
Owning an insurance agency is one of the biggest kept secrets. It's generational cash flow coming in every month. This is what I do. I create millionaires by walking them through the process, step by step, on how to own their own business. The best way to reach me is go to sammconsulting.com, or you can simply call the office, 678-223-7397.
Start flipping assets. What are the best assets to flip? Needless to say, residential real estate. You focus on the market, find the values, find the opportunities to get properties below market. You got credit lines, you got some savings, use it. Get a property below value, flip it as quickly as you can, right after you rehab it, any way you can. That's going to build your cash reserves. As soon as you flip properties, the next step, learn how to reduce taxes. There are ways to use structures and jurisdictions like what I've done with Puerto Rico to reduce your taxes tremendously. That's going to be the biggest push in your life. It's going to lead you into the next step, which is going to be buy and hold. That's when you get properties at market value or slightly below, bring in a tenant, increase the value. That's going to take you to another level completely, because now you're holding for income stream. All your work has residual value. Your life takes another level.
I believe that all of us have those superhuman gifts to do the impossible. Whether it's creating a business, whether it's inspiring a nation, whether it's miraculously being one of the best professional athletes in the country, we all have innate gifts. And the Superheroes Foundation wants to help people bring them out. We do talks around the country, speaking to the youth and speaking to the impoverished to teach them to bring out their gifts. One thing that we implemented this year that I'm real proud of is the 2014 Superheroes Foundation Scholarship. You can see right over here, this was a winner in Harriman, Tennessee, Marissa Burkhart. She actually was the #1 recipient, but we also gave 4 additional awards called the Michael Goins Humanitarian Award. He was actually my best friend that died in a tragic accident. He was a police officer, he was a veteran, he made a difference in a lot of people's lives. So we gave 4 additional scholarships in his honor. At the Superheroes Foundation, we just don't invest financial resources. We actually put our heart and soul into teaching and training interns just like Erica. When you invest in the Superheroes Foundation, we are invested in people.
And And we're back, and thank you for tuning in to the TC Allen Live Show. Share this feed with someone and let them know that Mel Clemmons is on tonight. He's dropping some knowledge, some keys tonight about how to do business the right way and how to buy and sell businesses. Now, we're going to talk about something fun right now because I know some secrets about him that he is, he used to be, well, he thought he was in the NBA. And so I want to share with y'all his NBA dreams. And so let's bring my buddy back, Mel Clemmons. Let's talk about it.
TC has been hating since the 3rd grade. I never thought I was in the NBA.
Let's talk about it because I got evidence. I got evidence.
What you got? You ain't got no man. Who photoshopped that?
I got old school evidence. This
is me.
This is when he used to play. What division was that you played in? What
Division 6. Basketball. But look at that chest, man. Look at them cheekbones, boy. I was something like. That's me.
And see, I want to show y'all who he hang with because he got some boys that's actually in the NBA.
They're my partners.
Those is partners right there. But let's talk about your NBA dreams, sir. And
nah. You know what? I played basketball in high school. My brother was a real good basketball player. I don't think I was that good. My dad was an athlete. He played semi-pro ball. His uncle played. My other uncle played. It takes a lot of work and dedication to play at that high of a level. And I'll be honest, I never had that type of work ethic. I only pick and choose where I put my time. And when I got to college, I realized I was not going to put the energy into trying to play at that level. And at my skill set, I knew I wasn't going to go pro. So I put myself in other things. Now I did get a ball that looked like.
So you got the money ball.
You got the money ball. So I take this and gave it to my baby boys, and they chose what they're going to do with it. So I'm actually I coach AAU basketball, and I got one of the top teams in the country, and we just came off a pretty good run. I'm still learning. I poured into my 16-year-old. He's developing good skill at it.
Yeah, that's the man right there.
He's not committed, so I don't know why he put it up to get all these coaches calling me. But he is not committed to any school. That was one of his unofficial visits. Yeah,
that's him right there next to you, who is along with your youngest son and your wife. And I know he is carrying on your dream of being an NBA player because I got 5 sons. Aaron Clemmons is my oldest son, and he has 4 children, him and his family. And then my second oldest is there they go, there go my crew. Yeah. So Aaron is my oldest with the hat to the back. He gave us 4 beautiful grandchildren. Yeah. To the next with the other hat on is Mel Lee. He just graduated college and he is working at I think it's USB Bank, one of the new banks. All right. He graduated from MTSU, and then that's my entertainer / rapper on my right. That's Jay. Mm-hmm. Jay Ante. He is in Jackson. He's matter of fact, he is an entrepreneur like myself. He's invested in clubs and real estate. He's trying to find his path too. That's good. And you see Deuce at the bottom in my queen Stephanie. That's with right. Jay, and of course Chase. That's the fam. That's the fam. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to your family, because I know you worked hard over the years, from a young man up to an old man like you are now. But you got your time back. Talk about that. Talk about your time, owning your time, and being able to spend time with your family.
Man, I worked hard when I was younger, so I could have options. And I tell people, money don't make you happy, but it does give you options. And one thing I cannot buy more of is time. So I'm real selective of what I do. Like I pick and choose what I want to do. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. You can get mad. You can cuss. You can say your grandmama. Mel, you promised my grandmama back in 85 you can do this. I don't got so much time, man. Yeah. And I never met a man on his deathbed said, man, I wish I had done that podcast with TC 2 days a week. I wish I'd have negotiated another 10 million. He gonna say like my dad, I wish I had spent more time with my family. That's wish right. I'd have saw my mother more. Wish I'd have done this. So I'm real selective of time. And your health, that's another thing that we got to do better as. I'm trying to do better and get back in better shape because COVID beat me up. But I'm gonna beat it. I'm looking at this other picture, mad man.
Well, you know, I brought sexy back, so I
You
exercise
did it,
every
man.
day.
You win it.
You know,
You win it.
you know,
You win it. You win it out here.
We can go out and exercise if that's what you want to do. You know.
That's right. But no, I'm selective of my time, and I spend most of my time with my other than with my wife is with my son in the gym, and my baby boy mentoring him, and then try to see the grandkids when I can. They're all out of state, but most of my time, people know me. Basketball is basically one of my full-time jobs now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about real quickly before we wrap it up. You have wrote 2 books, and I have both of them, and they're easy reads. But one thing about it, you give them the tips and tools of how to move forward. And talk about that. Talk about the first book, Creating Millionaires.
My first book kind of came out of the. Let me tell you where you can get it. I ain't sold a book on verbally in a while. You go to Amazon to get it, or you go to melclemmons.com. You can get the book. That book is for people who are looking to learn about how to buy and sell businesses. I did that because at one point in time, one of the companies I was with started terminating people for many different reasons. And just because you own a business does not mean you know how to sell a business.
Right.
So like I said, I had an idea and I was doing it for myself, and I did it to help people, and I still do it to help people. I pick and choose clients. Financially, I don't have to do anything financially. So I pick and choose what I do to help people. So I enjoy teaching people. And that book is kind of a guide to how you evaluate a business, how you sell it, and how you liquidate it and maximize your value. That was my first book.
And then your second book.
Man, that's the book I'm so proud of, but I never marketed. I never released it to Amazon. The first book was an Amazon bestseller for many weeks. This book I still have never released online, so you can only get that at melclemmons.com. But that book is a book that I actually handwritten by myself and talked about the steps to success, because people would always call me like, well, Mel, how did you do this? How did this happen? And I would say, okay, did you get the book? Because I put it on paper. So when people call me now, I mean, the book is only 80 to 100 pages. You can read it in an hour, 2 hours if you read slow like me. So this book basically walks you through the steps that I've studied successful people. So what I do, I spend a lot of time with athletes, a lot of times with business owners that have performed at the highest level. So I do that. I took all those tips and put it in. And I teach you, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? So quit procrastinating. Right. Quit making excuses. Because, I mean, success is not hard. You know the only people that fail? People who quit.
That's good.
That's it.
You talk about in this book the 5 steps to success. Give me one step.
First step starts with a vision. I think we started out the conversation with a vision or a dream or a thought or a motive. What I've been teaching lately, like when I've been teaching my basketball players, what is your why? Your why is when you're not getting paid, you'll still do this, but it's your why. It's the reason you get up. It's the reason you go to the gym. It's the reason you go to work. Once you determine what your why is, your life will change. My why is to make sure my family knows they're the most important thing to me. And the second why is to create 1,000 new millionaires. That's my why in life. So once you determine who your why in life, everything lines up with that. It's kind of like the book, The Secret. Everything will line up to get you where you need to be. But until you determine up here what your why is, why you're doing what you're doing, you can be like the octopus. You can be spread out 8 different ways.
Right. Now tell us what we can get the books again. That's Mel.
You can go to melclemmons.com and you can purchase the books there. You can go to Amazon to purchase the first book, and I think they got it on Kindle there. But all the money goes to my foundation, the Superheroes Foundation, which pays for kids to go to college, pays for people to learn about health, buys computer labs, and also helps people in need. So all the funds from the book go to the Superheroes Foundation. But you can go to melclemmons.com to find all my businesses and connect with me there.
Well, last but not least, because our time is well spent, sir, I thank you for coming on the show and talking about business and everything that you're doing. And do you have anything coming up soon?
Yes, since I said I believe I can do anything, I want to announce that the Golden State Warriors have contacted me. I will be trying out for them in the next 3. What you laughing at, man? I said I can do anything. What you mean? I'm about to lose 3 pounds.
No, sir.
And then I'm trying out. 3 pounds. I'm ready. 5'8", 232, point guard, Curry signed his contract, so I don't know if they got to redo his stuff to make room, but I'm coming. So I'm just letting you know, be on the lookout. I couldn't make it in the summer league camp in Vegas
I,
because
I
my knee
want
was hurting.
I want you to believe in yourself. I really do. I want you to believe in yourself. But let's push your son a little. Push
So,
your son. Yeah,
focus
I
on that,
want you to focus
TC.
on that. Focus on
Put
that.
that energy on him.
Yeah,
Okay.
put that.
That might be a
all
better
that,
use of my time.
all that energy should go on him, sir. Yeah.
Don't worry about me getting the camp. Give it to him. Okay. So other than that, that Golden State contract that I'm working on, I'll probably my next. I don't have any speaking engagements going on. I will be going to Jackson, Mississippi in the next couple of weeks, mentoring some people down there. And then other than that, just getting my sons through high school and getting them ready for college.
That's wonderful, sir. That's
And
wonderful.
spending time at the pool with my wife. That's what I do.
Last thing, I want you to give encouraging word and pray for the people as we end. And I thank you for your time and your expertise, sir, because you're a guy that is very humble, and so you don't put on no show. You're not flashy, and I love that about you. And you're real, down to earth individual, and so and you're willing to help someone come up. You're just not someone that's just sitting there, but you're willing to help pull someone up. And I appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate your expertise in the field and the family man that you are. You and your wife just you had a successful anniversary. This is what anniversary is this?
19.
19th anniversary. And so not only that, you're a great father. And so my hat goes off to you because a lot of men look up to you. You may not know it, but a lot of men out there look up to you, sir, and they're trying to get to where you are. And I want you to encourage them right now. And not only that, but pray for them and let them know that they can do it.
All right. First, I also want to thank TC for the platform that he puts on to minister to people. He's been doing it for a while, and I'm blessed that he even invited me to be on. So right now, I'm going to pray for the brothers first, because I'm going to tell some of the brothers out there, I know during COVID, I got so many calls, so many husbands that are fighting with their marriages. They're fighting with their insecurities. They're fighting with their weaknesses. They're fighting with their financial well-being. So I want to pray for you all to don't give up. Don't let go, because what we do affects our grandchildren. If I give up on my marriage, if I give up on this business, if I give up on these opportunities, my kids see that. Their kids live that. The kids after them will know that. But if I make it work, if I stick through it, if I stick through whatever adversity I'm going through, then it's going to be a generational change. And right now, if you focus on these generational changes, helping your family, helping your daughter, helping your brother, you can make a difference in the community. I'm doing the same. I want to thank all the women out there who support their husbands and husbands who support their wives, because it is very important to have a helpmate to stick through it together. When you pray over each other and pray together and stick together, you change generations. I want to thank God for the opportunity. One of my sons did a post the other day, and it made me realize how important the decisions I make were. He said, we were the strongest couple that he knew. Do you know how much pressure, how much that means? That I could never give up on my wife. I could never give up on a relationship, because my sons are watching, my grandchildren are watching. So I want all the brothers, all the wives, no matter what you all going through, your blessings come from sticking together and fighting through marriage, through sickness, through health. And in Jesus' name, I pray everything will be done in his name. Amen.
Well, that's it, folks. And I thank you once again, brother, for coming on the show. And is that my sister coming in?
But nah, this the right hand to the throne. It's Mel Clemmons.
Oh, we got to get you on the show, sir.
Oh, man. You talking about wisdom and knowledge?
The businessman.
He did a prayer. Yeah, businessman and knowledge.
Sir, I appreciate you being on the show. And thank you. We got to talk soon. And listen, don't give up that dream of being an NBA player. Just put it all in your son. I love you, sir.
Love you too, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was my brother and friend, Mel Clemmons, giving us some tips and tools, strategies of how to buy and sell businesses. Listen, I want you to share this feed with someone. And if they are trying to learn how to buy and sell a business, and they have something that they started, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a a retail store. I don't care what it is. This young man has done exploits when it comes to merger and acquisitions. And so I want you to get his book, volume 1 and 2, and share it with someone, because those tips and tools he has in there help me negotiate deals right now today. Right now today, I use some of his strategies to negotiate some deals that I'm doing right now today. So listen, until I see you again, I want you to be blessed. I want you to watch this show and listen to the storms and the valleys that he been through in his life, and know that you too can make it. Know that you too can make it through. Know that there is no storm, no rain, no obstacle, nothing that you cannot make it through. Listen, he started at a young age, and even then he overcome some obstacles. And when he started buying and selling businesses, he had people that wouldn't even go to dinner with him, and he still made it through. Listen, I know if he can make it through, you can make it through. Until next week, listen, this is TC Allen. Be blessed.